activate the Experience Creator, navigate to the Truelist platform. You'll find this list of add-ons right over here. You'll click on the Experience and then choose which tours you want after you hit subscribe. Here you can choose any tours that you'd like to be subscribed to the Experience Creator. You'll know when the Experience Creator is activated if you see this little blue icon. If you're on the business plan, you get 3 free paid features a year, which includes the Experience Creator. If not, the Experience Creator costs $300 per experience per year. Now that you've activated your experience, it's time to start editing in the workspace. I've got 2 main tips for you as you're starting to create your first experience, and that's to work in the Digital Twin Studio first. Before starting any experience, I think you should have a script that gives you a general idea of where you'd like to place your media, what kind of quizzes you'd like to integrate, if any, and what steps you want the user to take during the experience. The second tip, as you can probably see before you, is to put all your media in the experience first before you start playing around with the other settings. That's because the Experience Creator is super conditional, and almost everything you do depends on the media that's been inserted before it. I've already added my media. I did it in the normal area that you would in the Digital Twin Studio, uploaded it to the library, and then did that simple drag and drop to put it into the space, and obviously resized. For the purposes of this tutorial, I just did it beforehand to save some time. So once you've got a rough script, even if it's just scribbled on paper next to you, and you've got your media inserted into the experience, you can start with the actual editing. The first thing that you should do is turn this on. So you give it the experience a name. Mine is in the Treatise office in Petah Tikva, Israel. So I'll just call it the Treatise office experience. Here you'll be able to enable the answer correctness notification. So this is if you want users to hear a sound or get told when their answer is correct. You'll be able to enable the backpack. This feature is essentially if you'd like users to gather content throughout the experience that they can constantly refer back to. You can enable something like this if you have a list of instructions or tips that you'd like them to be able to access at all times. You can also enable the progress. So if you want them to see their progress, they can be via just their progress steps or by points if it's a more educational experience. In my case, I'll just do progress. You can also enable video clips, and this will let you add an intro and an outro option. You can either add it by URL or upload your own file. You can play around with the sound settings. So if you'd like there to be a sound when users interact with different items, different media in the tour, then you can do it here. And then a finish screen. This is an image that pops up at the end of the experience to let the user know that the journey has been completed. The default is just a congratulations, but you can customize it in this way by having them the option to share a link, to show the leaderboard, and to ask for an experience rating. This can be useful for your analytics later. Make sure to save everything. Now, you might have noticed that this little icon on the side popped up. This is what you will use to test your experience throughout, and oh my word, I urge all of you to do that. You might be editing in your tour in the workspace and think everything looks great, and then you've done literally everything you need to. It's taken you hours. You click on this thing to play it through, and it's just not working, and it's hours gone to waste. So I always suggest just testing it regularly throughout the experience, and this is what you click. It's different to the normal public link. So be sure to not confuse the two. Next is our timer. So we can decide if we want a timer or not. Again, great for if it's educational purposes. You can enable the timer, set the limit to whatever you'd like. It can be in the form of a countdown or just a stopwatch. And you can have a video pop up when the time's up, or an image. You can define it by percentage or pixels. Now we move on to locks, and this is where you should really be paying attention. The experience can be completely built on locks. If you want to set any conditions in the experience, such as hiding certain objects or revealing them or have something pop up, you'll need a lock to do that. And in order to have locks, you'll need to have all of your media. And this is again why I said insert your media first. So now that I've inserted all of my media, I can start making locks. You'll notice here that we've got lock points. You can define each point for the locks up here. What this basically means is that if I have a quiz, for example, or if I want to award people for watching a video or clicking on an image, then this is where I would do it, and this is where I would define the value of that award. You can also have seconds before revealing the next hint, so you can have hints on different locks, and if you want them to wait a while before they get the next one, this is where you do it. And you can also set penalties for those hints that would take away from the lock points. You can either do it here, or you'll see in a second that you can also do it individually per lock. So these are our different kinds of locks. First, we've got our code lock. The label is internal, and this is used if you want to, for instance, ask the user a question that would require a numerical answer. So if I go 2, and the description is what is 1 plus 1. So it's a numerical answer. As I mentioned previously, every lock needs to have a location or be associated with media that's already in the tour, as you can see here. So you would select, for instance, the object that we'd want to attach this lock to, and there it is. Here we have settings that are general for all the locks. So they are that the lock pop-up can be closed, that will allow multiple attempts. This is especially useful if you are quizzing via a lock. That will enable a timer. So this is different to the timer that we saw over here. This timer is lock specific. And experience ending lock. If the experience ending lock toggle is not on for any lock, then the experience will automatically end when all of the locks have been solved. You can also play around with the design and sound. Would you like some confetti papers to flow up when they get it correct? Or would you like there to be a success sound effect or a failure? And here you can also add hints. Then we've got our keyboard lock, which is exactly the same as the code lock, except the answer is written. Next up, we've got our pop-up trivia. And I actually want to have some pop-up trivia in this. As you can see, I've implemented all my media, and this is where I want my pop-up trivia to be. I've used our Giphy integration to put in a little sticker that says quiz time. When the user clicks on that sticker, I'd like them to answer some questions about the experience. So we go to our pop-up trivia. Lock label. This is internal, so I would just say quiz 1. And here we define the answers and the question. So the question that I'm asking, because I want this short little tour to be about the experience creator, I'll say, what is the experience creator? And now I give multiple choice answers. The first one that I'm going to give is, it's a solution for off-site training and onboarding. It's compatible with VR. It can be used for on-site maintenance procedures. And then answer 4, all of the above. And then I define which answer is correct and add. Let's add the location now. So I have it as an image and I've got it as the pop quiz. So that's this right over here. The points for this, I only want it to be 2 points. And do I want design and sound? Yes, of course, I want confetti to pop up. And I want some hints. So I'll do a hint 1. And I want it to be in the form of text. You can do it in the form of image or video, whatever you'd like. My hint text for this quiz is going to be, it's more than you may think. Do I want it to only unlock after a certain amount of time, or can they access it as soon as they start the quiz? I would define that here. And do I want them to be deducted for using a hint? And yes, I do. So I'll deduct 1 point for that. Edit and save. The next lock that we're going to be looking at are sequence locks, and this I'll be using in my tutorial today. Sequence locks are compulsory if you want to hide or reveal anything in the tour using conditions. So, for example, I want that during the experience, when the user clicks done, this video is hidden. So I will have to make a sequence lock out of this image done. So I'll go here, go sequence lock, label is internal, so I'll say done lock. I associate it with the image. And I set points. Do I want to award them for watching this video? Yes, I do. And edit and save. Now I can go to my conditions. We'll get to our path later. That's really something that I personally deal with at the last minute. So we'll return to that. So the different conditions that we have reveal, hide, and pop-up. I want to hide this video. So what I'll do is I'll select what I want to hide, which is a video. Hide video 1. I'll select the lock that I want to hide it once clicked upon. And then I'll select the video that I want to be hidden. You can also reveal through conditions. So this is essentially the inverse of what I just showed you. It's the same principle. You click it, give it a name, associate a lock with it, and then state the location of what you want to be revealed. The pop-up, this is useful if you want to incorporate that backpack that we previously discussed into the experience. So just to reiterate it, a backpack allows you to access certain content throughout the experience, regardless of where you're located. It's kind of like a little reel at the bottom. So if you create pop-up conditions, they can be added there. The kind of pop-up content you can insert is sound, picture, text, video, and how it would work is you'd associate it with the lock. So if I wanted to associate it with this lock, then when I click this lock, that content will pop up. So let's save. I also have another area where I want certain objects to be hidden. So I'll have to make a sequence lock. I want that when I step here and I listen to this woman, because I have added sound to this sweep. So I'll make my path go here so that when I'm here, it activates the sound, she talks, then we watch a video, and I want the user to click this. And then once they do, I want both the video and the woman to disappear. So first step in that equation is to create a lock for this image, a sequence lock for this image. Go tick lock. The labels, again, are internal. You can make them as weird as you want, but make sure there's something easy for you to understand so that later when you're making a lot of edits, it's easy to navigate without having to see the actual image. And let's give them 2 points for watching that video. Edit and save. Now we go back to the conditions. And again, we want to hide them. So the first thing I want to hide is an item, an object. Hide woman. What do I want to hide it? The tick lock. What must be hidden? Sophia. Sorry, Sophia. And then I want to hide the video. So I go hide video 2. What do I want to hide it? The lock. What do I want to hide? The video. Add and save. That's all that I'm doing for this tour. But where these conditions really come in handy is if you've got a really busy, content-filled experience and you don't want people to be overwhelmed as soon as they enter the space. So you could use these conditions to hide just about everything, and then sequentially throughout the experience, as you click, different things get revealed. It takes quite a while to do, but it definitely helps with making it less cluttered and for a more seamless experience. To hide all of your elements in the experience right from the jump, you'll have to start by keeping one asset revealed. This particular asset will serve as the trigger for the sequential reveal of other assets, creating a domino-like effect. In my case, I'd like to keep this green screen video and image revealed so that they can trigger the reveal of other assets. Then I will hide all of the other assets in the tour one by one without assigning them to locks. And this is how you can do that. So I'll add a hide function. I have a few videos that I'd like to be hidden. So I'll go hide video. And I don't have to assign it to any lock. I just choose which videos I don't want the user to see as they enter the experience. I do the same for images and any other asset I have in the tour. But I want to keep that walk around sticker revealed. As you progress through the experience, you can then use the reveal function to determine when and where you want these assets to become visible again. But this step does require the use of locks. So, for example, I want that when the user clicks on walk around, the video in the next room becomes visible. And this is how I would do that. I'd go add a reveal condition. I want a video to be revealed, so reveal, and I assign it to the walk around lock, and I select the video that I want to be revealed. And so it goes. You repeat that principle for everything you want to be revealed within the experience. If I want that after the user clicks done, the assets in the other room become visible, I would do it the same way as I did it over here. So it's important to remember that you do need to keep one asset visible so that it can trigger the reveal of the other assets. This last other locks, so we've got the collect lock. This you would use if you want stuff to be collected into the backpack. So if you want, for instance, this Sophia, this woman over here, to be collected throughout, then you would create her as a collect lock using the same functionality as all the others. The Genially lock is a pretty useful one if you're going to have an experience that you want packed with different kinds of quizzes or presentations. Genially is a platform that allows you to create quizzes, infographics, interactive images, presentations, and they've got a whole bunch of templates you can choose from. When you do decide to do that, you could add it either by URL or select from the library and upload it. Hints, you saw it just a second ago when I did it for that quiz, but you can also do it here. So if you don't want to go one by one through your locks and do the hints, you can do them over here. So if we wanted to add a second hint to the quiz, I go hint to quiz, and you can have it a text, image, video. I'll go blah 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 blah, and then blah blah again. These are really informative hints, and we'll say, where do we want it to be? Quiz 1. It has to be a lock for it to get a hint, and save. And this is also where we can delete hints that we don't want, which includes this one. These are the settings for the backpack, which I've mentioned twice already. So this is where you would decide if you wanted to open by default or not, and you'd also be able to see what things you've made possible to add to that backpack. The experience book, you can really get creative here. This is something that you want users to, again, be able to access throughout the experience, but you can also have chapters that are closed. So it's almost like a journey, and as they move along, they get to unlock it, and maybe an image pops up or something like that. So that's the experience book. It's useful for the very gamified use cases of the Experience Creator. Once you've inserted all of your media, you've set locks on those media and assigned relevant conditions to them, it's time for you to start on your path. You'll notice a few things that you can customize over here. The first is the background, the button text, the text, and the title text color. And the second is an icon. So if you'd like there to be a little icon that appears at the bottom of your path, then this is where you would upload that. You can choose to enable the previous step, which would allow users to go backwards in the experience. You can decide to hide the far path. You can allow for skipping of certain steps. You can display the path title, which would otherwise be internal. And you can enable the maximum or current steps that the user can take. Now I want to add my first step in the experience. So the path label is internal unless you enable the path title. I'll call this path 1. My description will be, welcome to the Traders Office experience. Let's hear a few words from our CEO, Omer Shimai. And that's because I've added a green screen video of Omer, our CEO, into my experience, and I'd like the user to start their journey there. You'll be able to decide on the movement type, so if you want it instant, fly, fade out, or with little navigation points. Then you need to decide where the path will move the user to. You can do this in two ways, either via the sweeps or through the tour link. To get the tour link, you go to the public link of the tour, go to the spot where you'd like the user to be taken, click Ctrl Y if you're on a MacBook, and then simply paste it over here. You'll then have to set the next step trigger. This refers to the item or object that will trigger the next step in the experience once clicked upon. In my case, I'd like the user to click on walk around and then to go to the next experience step. So my next step trigger will be an image. Where is it? It's the walk around image. And I add it. And save. For my second path, I'd like the users to go and watch something about the experience creator. So I'll say, today we'll be showing you around the experience creator. Movement type, let's make it fade out this time. Starting point should automatically be set, but double check this because sometimes it isn't. So make sure that your starting point is the previous step's next step trigger. If it's not, then the path is disjointed and it won't work. Again, you can decide how you'd like to decide where you're moving to, via sweep or tour link. I like to do the tour link because sometimes I'm unsure that I'm choosing the correct sweep, but with the tour link I can be very precise. So I want them to move here after they click that walk around sticker. So they'd be moving to that video area. The next step trigger, when they click done, I want the next step to pop up, so it'll be an image, and it'll be the done. Add. Third step. You'll see again, the starting point has been automatically set to that done sticker. Where are we moving to? I want us to go to the next room, where we have another video to watch.
Did you know that the Experience Creator can be used in augmented reality too?
And I'll paste it over here. When the user clicks this, I want them to go to the next step. So my next step trigger is an image again, and it's the check stick. Add, and let's go ahead and save. Then my fourth and final step takes them to the quiz. Movement type, let's make it fly. Starting point automatically set. Let's do a tour link. Next step trigger is the image, and it's the pop quiz. If you remember, we created the pop quiz lock here as the experience ending lock. So once the user goes to this, they'll get their progress steps that it's completed. Now it's time for us to test out the experience. So you'll click this icon over here. If you had enabled an intro clip, then this is where that would play. And here we get our first step pop up. We click next, it takes us to the green screen video.
3ds was created so that anyone could create incredible metaverse experiences without any coding knowledge. Our goal is to link the physical and the virtual worlds using digital twins. I invite you to walk around the 3D space.
And when I click walk around, the next step is triggered. It takes me to this video over here, which is essentially just demoing the different use cases for the experience creator. You'll see a bit more interactive quizzes there using Genially. a bit more of a gamified experience. Here's a lot more material. Here you'll see an example of a code lock. So the user clicks there and they have to click a numerical answer. An experience pop-up with a video. And then when we're finished, we get done. Then we see that hide condition in full effect. Remember, we created a sequence lock out of this image so that we could set a condition that once clicked upon, it hides this video. And it also triggers the next step.
Did you know that the Experience Creator can be used in augmented reality too?
And you'll notice that I can walk around, but I'm not completing any steps. I can always be redirected, and I have to do what's asked of me before I can get the next step. And I need to click this, and we'll see that condition working again to hide both the woman and the video, and it triggers the next step, which takes us to our quiz, our pop-up quiz. What is the Experience Creator? It's a solution for off-site training and onboarding. It can be used for on-site maintenance procedures. It's compatible with VR, or it's all of the above. What's it going to be? Woohoo! And then we get that confetti effect, and we see that we've completed the experience. If you enabled the finish screen or an outro clip, this is when that would play as well. So.